It's the 16th of October and we've just started our pre-production for our music videos. At the moment I am the light operator, so I will be looking at the lighting and the way the sets are lit up basically. Today, with most of the crew down, me and Oliver came up with a couple of ideas. One of my ideas I came up with today was to cover everything in paint. If we get sort of 60 frames per second and put it into slow motion, if we had the slow motion of paint flying and hitting the drums and the guitar, and then maybe some flour or some dust or something, and then they can hit cymbals and dust will go flying everywhere, and everything can happen in slow motion or like that. We also came up with an idea that it might be set inside of just an average house, and if it was all inside an average house, then it would look natural and people could sort of relate to the house and instantly just go, oh God, that would be amazing, and start inviting people to watch it, because that way, you know, they can see what an awesome house party as it is. As far as I've got ideas for lighting, I think it should be mostly white lighting, house lit, up to the point where paint flies, because as soon as paint starts flying, it adds more of a surreal element to the video. So we should add a surreal lighting effect. So I was thinking possibly flashing lights of reds and greens and blues. Alternatively, we could just do it so that depending on the colour of paint flying, it changes the colour of the lighting, which was another idea I had. The song we've got is pretty mellow, pretty undramatic up until the solo point. So I'm thinking we should just play it as a cool house where nothing's really different and it's just the same. That way we create an illusion video where they think that it's just going to be an average day in the house, when in reality it suddenly becomes a massive paint-filled mess, and that would help increase views tremendously. As most of our group was off, we couldn't discuss most of the problems and other ideas for the music video. So a lot of that is going to come in tomorrow's video. So, day one over.
So it's been a while since I've done one of these vlog things, and that's because nothing really has changed as far as our group's gone and as far as ideas have gone, because a lot of the stuff's gotten in the way of that. But recently there's been a couple of changes which are too important to miss. So I am now away from lighting and have moved into directing. So I am now the director of what we've now decided to call our group Yorkshire Pudding Studios. So that means I'm going to be making sure that everyone is doing what they need to be doing, and hopefully if my idea is chosen, it helps me sort of describe exactly what idea I had in my head. If it's someone else's idea, they can help me get the idea of it, and then I can direct how I think that should go. We also came up with 5 different stories, which I've got here, which we thought were just sort of guidelines. We weren't sure if we wanted them exactly that way. So we have 2 girls who particularly like the same thing, and they follow sort of around rumours and things about the brand new band Badwater, that they're doing a live concert nearby. So obviously we follow them around, and then we show them both entering this concert, and then when they both enter the concert, we have an idea that when they're in the concert, we'd have a multi-mage. So down the centre here, and then you'd have one person here and one person here. They'd come together like this, and then as they got closer, this middle line here would disappear, and we would just have a full screen of both of them together, so it shows that they're not separate anymore. Our other idea was that they would come together and the same idea, but then they'd miss each other and the screen would split again, and that shows, like, it completely changes what everyone thought was going to happen, because everyone thought they were going to get together and they didn't. They completely missed each other. We thought if the two girls did get together, they would kiss, and if they kissed, it would be on the massive solo bit, and then we might pan up from the solo of them kissing up onto the band, and we could probably get in a live performance sort of idea into that, as well as just having the storyline. We thought if they do get together, then it shouldn't be for very long, because as soon as you hit it and you just go, oh, they got together and lived happily ever after, it can be a bit of a fairy tale ending. So we'd rather sort of stay around that whole area if we can, and not worry about it. So we thought just a one night stand. It also creates more of an illusion, because obviously with the audience thinking it's going to end up one way and it completely twisting, and just turns out it's not going to be like that. Our second idea was that there's 6 people, and all these 6 people are all in a concert. They're all separate and they all come together and dance. This concept is a bit loose, but it's wide, and we have plenty to work with if we want to come up with that. But I don't know if that particular one is going to be used, or certainly isn't as likely to get used. Our third idea is to follow the band and just show where they go, what they're doing. The entire band would split the screen 4 ways, giving you a 4-way multi-mage. That would obviously, because we enjoy the multi-mage idea, that would work well, because that way you can see everything that's going on, and you can watch the video multiple times and never get bored, because you can watch every single person's perspective differently, and point of view obviously would make a huge difference in the music video. And obviously with them all being separate in separate shots, they'd all come together in one shot when they're doing the live performance, and then I think the rest would just be sort of concert footage and things like that. The fourth one was the idea we had originally, which was simply just a house and a massive surrealist of paint and everything flying everywhere, and everything going in slow motion when they hit cymbals and that idea. But as I've already said, I've discussed that idea with you already. Our other idea was surrealist. I'm not too sure I like it. Simply put, we came up with as many ideas like the Illuminati, Guy Fawkes, wearing a cat tail and a horse's head. He's prancing in a field and there's a foam party, and turns out that one cat is actually Freddy, and then he brings out a chainsaw and he cuts down a log, and inside the log there's a raw fish. It's ridiculous. We couldn't think of any sort of clever idea, but when it comes to surrealist, it doesn't need to be clever, it needs to be crazy and mental, and I think that's completely what we were going for here. As far as problems with the stories go, obviously doing the surrealist video would be really, really difficult, but for the main storyline, which was the first one, we have 2 actors who would be willing to do it for us, so if we want to do that one, we can. As far as barns go, Alex says he knows someone who will happily rent out a barn, so we can use that barn for the concert where they all meet together, and everything should work out well. So that's what's happened so far, and I'll keep you up to date on if things change. Okay, just an update. Our group, Yorkshire Pudding Studios, has encountered one of the biggest problems so far, and that is that one of our members, Alex, who was the cameraman in our piece, has left. So we have to get around that I think we're going to get Ben and Oliver to do mixed camera operators, because they do lighting and sound, which we don't think will play as big of a part as it should when it comes to doing the music video. After looking at the brief more closely, we realised that we need more individual ideas. The ideas we had were too similar. It revolved around the idea of multi-mage, and it was all narrative, basically, is what I'm trying to get at. So instead, we decided that we'd come up with our own ideas, and now we only needed 4, obviously with Alex gone. So I'm going to be carrying on with the narrative idea with the 2 girls meeting, at the gig. Ben will be doing a live performance, so he'll be looking at what kind of thing happens there and what way we can do it. Ollie will be doing more a surrealist video, so hopefully he comes up with a much better idea than we already have. And Oliver, I think, is coming up with a parody to see if he can come up with an idea. But I think that's going to be really tough, and good luck to him on that one. Obviously, with Alex gone, we now have to consider the problem with there being, obviously, someone who knew where we could use a barn has gone. So Ben says he might know someone who will lend us a barn. So hopefully we can still come up with that idea. If not, we're going to have to change ideas again. That's a problem. With pre-production very quickly coming to a close, I just want to update you on what we've done so far. Our track analysis, we've got the music for the production, and I've gone through it and found out the exact times and how my idea will fit into that. So track analysis is complete. The creative concept has been written out, and I completely know it off the top of my head, as you can tell through the vlogs, and the storyboard is halfway complete. So these all need to be in for the 13th of November. So today is the 10th, so I have 2 days to complete the rest of the task as well as today. I should be able to get it complete, and I should be ready for the presentation when it comes.